Hi, everyone. We're here to present Receptron.ai. First, a little bit about the exceptional team that I'm working with. We're a bunch of AI researchers, experienced entrepreneurs, technologists. We're super excited about enabling LLMs to build an AI receptionist for your business. Most of you have probably placed an order online at a restaurant using DoorDash or Uber Eats. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, but you probably don't know that it accounts for only a third of restaurant sales. Another third of them happen in person, but the rest of them actually happen on the phone. Phone is a major channel for restaurant sales. But phones are really, really hard. A recent New York Times article suggested that manning phones at restaurants is becoming extremely, extremely hard. And this is because for a business like a restaurant, making a phone call actually involves a person picking up the phone on the other end. And these people are already burdened, they're overloaded, they're making food, they're talking to people that are in person, they're dispatching orders. So it's not a surprise that small businesses miss 62% of the calls. Missing calls is actually the norm. So we ended up calling 10 restaurants to find out more. And most of them didn't even pick up the call, kind of reiterating the stat that I just mentioned. Of the ones that did, they said that a vast majority of the calls that they do receive are actually orders. So a missed call is a missed revenue. A missed call is a missed opportunity to get an order or build customer loyalty.
So we went out, we actually built a reception. So yeah, like all things, we never went through the again. We're actually gonna run you through a live demo for you just in case what could go wrong. Without further ado, the shot. And I apologize for folks on Zoom. I don't know if the audio is gonna come through for you guys. Hi. Yeah, I'd like to get an order for a burger.
Just so you know, we can't hear it on Zoom. If you can hear me, I don't know if you can turn up the volume.
I'll take the green one. Sure, that sounds good. Also, do you have a veggie burger? Yep, I think that'll do it for me. Well, when are we ready? Awesome, thank you very much.
Cool. So you saw the kind of fun customer experience there. I don't know if anyone here is a fan of Bob's Burgers, but we did our best to kind of make something interesting. But what's actually really interesting is that for the business owner, the process from setup to order is just 2 minutes. And the reason we're able to do this is because we plug into the existing ecosystem of restaurant technology. Everything from ordering to loyalty programs to reservations. We integrate with all of those things seamlessly so that as a restaurant owner, you don't really have to do anything except make a phone call. Let me show you what that looks like.
Hello, this is Receptron, your phone answering assistant. I see that I'm receiving a call from Bob's Burgers. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Great. According to your Google Maps listing, Bob's Burgers is open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and closed on Mondays. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. Thanks for confirming. I found your Square Merchant online ordering system, which lists the following items on your menu. The original burger for $6, the Sweet Home Avocado Burger for $8, and French fries for $4. Can you confirm if these details are correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you for confirming your menu items. I'm all set now. Phone orders are now active for Bob's Burgers. Remember, you can always call Receptron again or download the Receptron app to manage your configuration in the future. Have a great day.
Thanks.
So a pretty simple onboarding experience. But our end game is not actually just to focus on restaurants or burgers or phone calls. The actual goal is to be able to dominate customer service overall and customer experience. And the technology we have is extensible enough to do a great job of that. So over time, we want to expand for restaurants to maybe include hair salons, other types of small businesses, and maybe even larger ones as well. And on the channel front, maybe expand from cell phone or calls to include messaging and possibly email as well. And by doing that, we think we can actually really improve both the experience for the business owner as well as for the customer. So that's it. If you want to give it a shot, you can go ahead and try this phone number. We have no idea what will happen if a bunch of people call at the same time, but have fun. And thanks a lot.
Yeah. So if any of you guys have any questions, I can give you the mic and you can ask. Any questions in the room or questions on Zoom? Oh, there's one in the back. Yeah.
Hi, that's actually pretty fun. So how do you actually plan to scale this, like from an integration layer? Because if you have to connect to multiple systems, like a browser plugin, or just a phone call as a chatbot, like what's the product that's going to be like deployed to a small, particularly small businesses who really are not consistent in their systems of technology? Or they may not work with any platforms. I mean, if you're particularly targeting restaurants or the nature of small business, they actually don't have many systems. So how do you deploy this? Is it like an external system or something that has to go internally, or you come from the Uber and the DoorDash side of things and automatically is integrated? Like, how are you thinking?
Yeah. Not another question.
Yeah, I think this is really impressive. Are you hearing me through this? Okay. Yeah, I think it's really impressive. I'm a professor in human interaction AI, so I think it's a really impressive start. One thing I think is, what's your mechanism for allowing people to continuously improve this? So for example, you have the LM there, but one thing I do work on is like super A/B testing. What would be ideal is if there's a way whenever there's an error or it says one thing could said another, that you have a system where you can actually inject in different alternatives so it constantly improves over time, especially as you want to put to other user segments, right? This is all great, but I want to make a very simple suggestion. Inject a way of bringing A/B testing into your system so that every app the LLM takes, like hi, how are you? You should be able to swap that funnel. Like that's what I would do for you. Like there's lots of software out there. We have one of two. But make sure every action it takes, you can swap it out. Yeah. So like, yeah, I think that's what I would do. That helps solve all of your problems. Seems you can constantly improve it. And then as you go to different restaurants, different segments, you then say, oh, this person wants to be ready for like this restaurant wants to be very fun. That's just like, yeah, just trying to help. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. The reason why is it takes a lot of effort to do it, and they call it like what kind of option, see what the option was that outlines. Like how do you modify outlines, right? But this is very great. I'm just trying to say, how does that level up? By the way, we find everybody dark way. I just pull it out first, try to get the ball, we all. We solve the method. We haven't any. Very good at listening and selling. And I say this way better than any people ever would be because it is communication. When it comes to a testing, that's a very specific point, which is only to direct data via that the developer are really good at optimizing the course of the background that we order. We may not even be necessary in the sense that we can get more of a purpose. This price a little first, nevertheless, there is one. There is another question.
Have you thought at all about pricing? Like and you talk about restaurants first. What is the, you know, I know you guys have only got 48 hours. I've been part of a cohort. I get it. But like, what about pricing? And then what is the, let's say you got restaurant solved. What is the next immediate step?
Is that we can, for example, take all, make sort of the background, get a 50, or get a sort of a finer scheme go out into that way. We would love to see
Sure.
like that.
Is your mic turned off? Is the green light on?
It's
Oh no, you push the button.
I
So
pushed
push
the
it.
button.
Oh yeah, well, push it so it's
There's a button here.
yes. There you go. Now it's on.
I apologize to
that.
the Zoom audience. The answers were amazing. I think the question was just around premiums. I repeat myself again, apologies, but these mics are very special. I just wanted to say that we are going for a freemium model, specifically one where as there is an order with an economic value, we get paid for placing that order. So in the case where, for example, somebody calls and just takes some of your time as a business owner, asking for, let's say, hours or directions or something like that, all of that is just free and taken care of. And we focus on like literally improving your bottom line as a restaurant or something like that. Oh, and you asked also about further, I think. I was just going to say, we've looked into a whole bunch of verticals. Salons would have been our next choice. And we think there's quite a few that we can go after.
The last thing I wanted to say for the Zoom audience, since you both weren't able to hear the phone call and maybe didn't even hear Dayan's answer, is you can go ahead and try calling this phone number and you'll get the experience that we demoed as well.
Can you guys hear us by chance?
Say again.
Can you hear us on Zoom?
We can now, yes.
Oh, great. If you turn up the volume, I have a question for you. What's your, from a go-to-market strategy point of view, what's your thought on customer acquisition? Have you come up with any ideas? Because the great thing about long tail small businesses is there's a million of them. The problem is there's a million of them and they're hard to get.
That is probably where the company kind of makes it really, really big or really struggles. Our current thesis, which of course needs to be actually validated in the market, is that we've taken great care to make onboarding as seamless as possible, which, as you can imagine, helps with conversion. So what we mean by that is that, for example, there was a question earlier, which hopefully you guys actually heard, which was around what about, for example, restaurants that may not be online? Those we can get to at some point, but we want to start with ones where we can, like, again, in 60 seconds, have a magical experience. And we hope / need to validate that what that means in practice is that when you reach, for example, over the phone, a business owner, like a restaurant, maybe starting with those, you can like blow them away in seconds. And it's free, adds to your top line, adds up to, we think, a strong pitch. Another idea that we discussed is, of course, to go through channel partners. When you look at some of those companies that we showed in terms of integrations, there's the flip side of those guys mostly focus on things like mobile apps and websites and like digital orders. We can add a sort of a voice or a phone call component to it. Again, I'll repeat myself and say that all of these things, of course, are a matter of validation. We haven't gone that far yet.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question, and then we have to move on because we want to make sure we have time for the other teams. And by the way, everyone, you'll get a chance to meet and talk with the teams here afterwards. We have this space for a while, so I do encourage you to do that. And of course, I mean, this is pretty bold, like putting the phone number up there so you guys can try your own live demo. That is definitely an Inception first. So, but yeah, so last question.
First, fantastic demo, by the way. Really, that is amazing. That takes some courage. So if you, I mean, look, product, it works, it's fantastic. You'll figure it out. If you look at the customer segment, right, SMBs, they operate on razor thin margins and they don't have money. And so a business model where, hey, I bring in a new dollar of revenue and I'll take a cut of that. That's different versus charging a subscription. So let's say SMBs love it. They don't have money to pay for it. Do big companies have like a burning need, or they have like armies of people who do this themselves? Like, how do you think about people like large companies with money who can pay for it but have no motivation to do this?
We actually recently heard that Wendy's is designing. I think there's a burning need for big companies as well. Yeah, so potentially possible, but for small companies, there's just no other way. They can't afford to build their own customer service agents. So we think it might be easier to reach those use cases first.
I'll add one more thing, which is the focus of what we're trying to build isn't necessarily restricted to small business. I think, as I showed on the last slide, like really can expand pretty dramatically from there. We actually started with looking at restaurants because we think that there's a clear market opportunity there with the way things are currently structured. But I think that what we actually want to be able to build is much more broad than that. No, for sure.
Right.
Yeah. And we should catch up more afterwards. I kind of want to hear.
Yeah. Okay. First investor. That's great. Yeah. Anyway, let's thank the team. Awesome job.